Well, good morning. It's my last day of vacation time, and got a chance to come out here with the local Match Anglers Club. We've just done peg draw and our nice little social get together. Everybody's kind of pumped to get fishing. Good turnout. I think there's 13 or 14 people. I actually drew a peg that was not my top three. However, I have fish feeding right in the margins, like right up against the bank. Like I could reach down and grab them. They're that close. Every peg is showing really good signs of carp. The last few times I fished this venue, it was mostly catfish, and I ended up with one carp. I did film my the last match I did here. Unfortunately, all the files were corrupted, and I couldn't actually make a video out of it. So I'm going to try again. There's so much life in my peg. It's a corner peg. So basically I've got this tight little bay and not much open water. However, as it stands right now, nobody's drawn the peg next to me. So if nobody goes in that peg, I will have some open water to cast to. But I have so many, little 3/4 and 1 pound carp just all along the margin here. A bunch of people I recognize from last year, a bunch of new faces, which is great to see. Peg 1 was probably my top pick because we saw tons of fish over there, and local guide Lyle actually drew that peg. Funny enough, immediately after I put my hand in the bag to draw my peg, and jokingly said, not next to Lyle, not next to Lyle. And I ended up the complete opposite to him. I wasn't expecting to see as many fish over here. So I do have a bit of a game plan. I didn't bring any ground bait, no oats, nothing like that. I just brought pellets, sweet corn, and worms. I'll be starting off baiting up a patch a little bit further out, probably kind of in the middle of this little bay, and then I'll probably bait minimally at the start and just slowly build more as time progresses. We're allowed to bait up 15 minutes before the horn, and then lines go in right at 11. So I have just over an hour and a half to get myself completely set up, and there's a lot to set up. So I'm going to get cracking and get everything put together. Enough rambling here, but as it turns out, man, the peg that was not my choice is full of fish, so I am wired. So there's definitely some thrashing around going on. We're a little bit worried that some of them might be starting to spawn. But as soon as you go and look at, one little group of fish that you're worried are spawning, you see them mouthing at things at the bank and taking things off the surface. So I might even have to take part of my sandwich, get them on some floating crust or something like that. Okay, I'm too wired. I'm too excited. I need to get my stuff set up. Okay. This is going to be tough because I'm trying to use 2 cameras to try and capture as much as possible. So we're about 10 or 12 minutes from being allowed to put bait in. And I have a heron just right over here stalking the margins. So hopefully he doesn't disrupt the fish. There's still a lot of fish in my margin, not thrashing around like some of the other groups around the lake. These ones are definitely just like feeding right in tight to the margin. I have them starting to swirl a little bit out in open water in front of me. So yeah, I'm probably going to be really carefully watching the margins and trying to stay as still as possible, because if I can just lower a piece of corn or maybe a pellet on a band if I brought any of those band rigs. Right in front of one, I might be able to pick off a couple right close really fast. I'm hoping I don't have to go too far out, but I am going to bait a patch, kind of just straight out in front of me. I don't know how well you can see that, but just out there, there's like piles of bubbles and muck that comes up, so I've definitely got a really shallow bay. That heron might be an issue for me, and hopefully no turtles. But let's take a look at the setup. Alright, so I got my main tackle bag with like all my secondary accessories, a rain poncho and stuff in there, umbrella in case it rains. I have my primary tackle bag right there, just a tracker bits bag. That's got pretty much all my primary tackle. There's my lunch bag. Got my seat set up, so I've got two of the same rod with me, 10-foot Riversiders. One is set up with a method feeder. That one is set up with a really light little balsa wood waggler, in case I have to put that out further. I've got an unhooking mat, a little foot mat, just to help keep my feet out of the wet grass. There's my net on a 6-foot handle. Here we have our bait options. So we are allowed 2 cans of sweet corn. So we got sweet corn there. My little Guru catapult for flinging that out. I absolutely love this little piece of kit. So this is a mix of things. This is out of my spod bucket that was apparently still in my van from the carp session 2 days ago. So in this I have tiger nuts, I have a little bit of sweet corn, then I have DT Baits Super Fruit pellets, I have chops of DT Baits Tutti Frutti and pineapple boilies, and then all of that mixed in to the tiger nut and corn stick mix ground bait. So that is something I'm going to slingshot out onto kind of the bait patch that I'm going to put out, and I'm going to put all of this out and sprinkle maybe a little bit in the margins. In here, soaking in my water bucket, I have the mixed size tiger nut and corn DT Baits pellets. So it's a mix of 3 mil and 7 mil, I believe. So they're just soaking. They're going to be on for the method feeder. This bait is for me. That's my sausage and egg McMuffin. I've got just a soda to get the sugary drink. I have water. I have Gatorade. I have other nice fancy sandwiches. And then I have a dozen worms just in case. So yeah, everything is kind of set up. I don't know how well can you see that? Just under that tree there, that tree. They're digging around under the roots. They're doing the same just right in front of my peg here, and the willow tree to my left. So there's something they're getting out, maybe insect larvae or something. But the ones that are feeding in the margin are going to be kind of one of my primary targets to maybe hopefully not disrupt too much of the swim. I've got fizzers all over the place in front. That is a beautiful heron. Let's have a better look at him. Alright, so the first horn just went. That means we got 15 minutes of bait up time. So I'm going to try and get one spot going out in front of me. I'm going to try and get a margin spot on the left and a margin spot on the right. I got hiccups because I was trying to eat my breakfast too fast. think I'm going to wear most of my bait in this particular case. I haven't, I know I put plenty of water in for the pellets to soak and get spongy for the method feeder, but they haven't absorbed enough. Oh my god. I love this catapult, but it's making a mess. Okay, so that's baiting up the spot in front. I'm just gonna make little balls of this spod mix that I had in the van. I'm just gonna just drop this right there. Try and get some fish grubbing on it. A little bit of sweet corn there. I don't know how practical 3 baited spots really will be, but there was so many fish here. I want to get my options open and hopefully attract the carp and avoid catfish. That went way too far. Oh, man. I will get better at this, I promise. Rest of this mix. I should be covering all angles of the bay. If they come in from my left, they're going to hit this bait along the margin. If they're out in open water, they'll get that baited patch in the middle. If they're coming in from that margin, they'll find all this. And I've only seen 1 turtle so far. Okay, I forgot my hand towel, of course. Oh, I got wicked hiccups. Trying to transfer my pellets into a different container here that apparently has a hole in it. I think I prepared way too many pellets. Oh yeah. Yeah, I definitely did way too many pellets. Just spilled pellet juice all over my breakfast. Some of these 7mm tiger nut and corn pellets out there. I am a mess. I got the hiccups, but I'm ready to start. There's a lot of guys here fishing the pole. They're going to be the really stealthy ones. I would expect them to do very well. I am going to start out with the method feeder. Alright, so the small pellets are fitting into the feeder really well. The big pellets are still quite firm. Just tuck my little hook right in the top. I have a little split shot on the hook link, just because I like to use a slightly longer hook link than I think would be typical. That is ready to go. So yeah, I'll just be watching the margins for any kind of swirling or kind of muck to come up to see if they're feeding on either of those spots. And I think the first few casts are actually going to go out to that baited spot in the middle here. Because there is still fish fizzing out there. Alright, I was trying to get the camera on before the horn went, but they beat me to it. So line is in. Hopefully I'm going to capture everything. It is so bright, there's quite a bit of a glare on the screens for me to see, but we're going to start out in the middle first until I see movement in my margin spots. Well, I just missed one there. And, well, that had to be a turtle because I got no hook left. Alright, how quickly can John tie on a hook? Alright. Well, 30 seconds in. Had a bite and lost that hook. Let's try this again. My hook is a size 8 cryogen hook from ESP. I gotta do this method feeder with my fingers because I don't, well, I do have the piece to put the feeder into that's for these mini Guru feeders, but I couldn't find it this morning. let's try this again. Should be able to get another bite pretty quick. As long as it's not a turtle. No turtles. And preferably no catfish. The toughest part is going to be getting that first fish in the net. I really have to focus on trying to get the carp. If I get plagued by catfish, I am not going to do well. Oh, I can see a turtle. His head popped out right over here. He just went back down, big snapping turtle. The very first match I did, the very first bite I had was a big snapping turtle. I do not want to deal with that today. Alright, so I came back with an empty feeder and no corn on the hook. So alright, so I'm gonna pull the swivel out of the feeder, get more of a direct line. Because that means that I probably have catfish here. Well, not how we wanted to start things with a little catfish, but every fish counts. So I'm going to try and make something else happen here, and we'll check in a little later. So a little update. I'm taking apart a sandwich. I've had a few catfish. I've mostly been fishing the waggler. The carp really did push out of here just before I started putting bait in. But then, just a couple minutes ago, I just noticed a small carp just feeding under the surface to my right. So I'm gonna I'm going to try putting a piece of crust out there. It's got a little bit of mayonnaise and some other seasoning on it, so I don't know how well this is going to go, but if I can get that fish to come back up and feed, I might be able to get a carp in the net. That will give me a little bit more confidence. The guy to my left in peg 5 has been crushing the catfish. I really have not. I have not been doing well at all, in all fairness. There, I got a little piece of floating crust. Oh, that's like a 2-pounder as well. Put a couple pieces of bread out there. Let's see if I can actually do this. I don't think I've ever actually done this right. I've got it right in front of him. The biggest fear, obviously, is that a fish comes in, I try to get it on the surface, and it starts going for all the bait on the bottom.
Time 12:44. We're gonna get back started. I'm gonna give you guys about 25 minutes to go grab lunch. I'm gonna blow up the track, fix the back section there. Track is closed.
Looks like he's starting to take the bread. He's taking the bread, and I can't figure out how to get the bread out there. thread is not staying on my hook. Damn catfish came up. I do have some pop-ups and stuff, but I don't think that's what's going to do the job. This is driving me nuts. I know I'm wasting a lot of time, but that's like a solid 2 pounds. Two of them feeding on the surface very heavily. Okay, I got one of the carp now. All that work, finally got a carp. That's a 3 or 4 pounder, I think. Beauty. So I completely dismantled my waggler setup to be able to do that free lining, and it took a lot of work, but I did it. I got one of the 2 of them that I saw, so I'm going to leave this one available. And as soon as I see fish moving around in the margin over there again, I'll put the free line back on. I almost had him on the bread, took the corn to get it. Oh, spraying bait all over myself. I'll keep it baited over there. And all over myself, apparently. Actually, I think that other fish is still there. Try free landing again. Catfish. Come on, spit it out. Give my hook back. Yeah, I'm gonna rest that spot until I see another fish there. He was there a second ago. I'm gonna go back to the feeder for a bit. Okay, this is the smaller of the 2 that I saw. There's a much bigger one in there that I'm after. Beauty there. Hopefully I didn't disturb things too much there. Yeah, strategy has gotten very different from my plan. Not much I can do about it. I gotta do what the fish are doing. Apparently that means covering myself in pellet. Keep them interested in corn, pellet. And I will have that one at the ready. There is a big one in there that I want. The big one keeps coming back. I'm guessing it's a 5-pounder. It's bigger than the first one I had for sure. So yeah, I've only got a couple of really small catfish, but now I've got 2 carp, which is really, really important. And how's the sound? Yeah, the sound's working on that. I'm gonna have to just try and keep picking off any carp that come into that corner. As soon as I see them, I'm gonna have to just start free lining for them. I'm not finding them on the waggler out there, that's why I took the waggler off. The method feeder, I'm putting it on the baited spots, and it takes like 5-6 minutes before I even get a nibble. And I've probably missed half the fish that have hit the method feeder. So yeah, the strategy is not going the way I had hoped. However, I definitely have 2 carp, which is what I want because that's what's going to give me the most weight. I'm definitely thinking I'm going to need more catfish though, unless I can get into a whole bunch of carp, because I would have to say the lad next to me using the whip, I think he's using a whip or just a really long telescopic rod. He's got to have 20 or 30 catfish by now, maybe even more. So yeah, I'm gonna keep watching the corner to my right. Nothing has shown up to my left in I got this willow tree with a lot of shade. Nothing has turned up there. I thought for sure that would get some fish under it, but I have yet to get a bite under there. This match fishing is a lot of fun because I'm not just targeting one species. I also can't use one tactic because one tactic just isn't going to do it. And I like the competition fishing where I'm stuck in one place. Have to make the most out of the spot. The guy directly opposite me on the far bank. I haven't actually seen him get any fish. The guy to my left has had a lot of catfish. And I really can't see anybody else. So I genuinely don't know how well I'm doing. If I can get 2 or 3 more carp, I think I'll be in a lot better place. I know it's hard to convey how much fun this is. I don't have the right camera set up to really show the best out of my peg and what's going on. That's a little bit better catfish. But yeah, this is a lot of fun. It's a good group of people that are coming together for a little friendly competition. A little bit of money on the line. You know, and some of the anglers that are here have driven a couple hours to be here for this. You know, that's pretty awesome. You know, for me, it's pretty local. It takes me about 40 minutes to get here from home. But some of these people are driving 2-3 hours to get here for this. And I definitely would like to see this club grow more, get more anglers, more venues. I know they have some specimen venues where you get to deal with a lot larger fish. So it's really exciting to see where this match club can go. So I'm gonna keep fishing the baited spot, plug away on catfish until I see the carp turn up in the right corner, and then hopefully I can switch gears and free line another one. Oh, it's back. It's in the corner again. That's the big one. He's got a distinctive tail. Okay, let's get this method feeder out of the way. Put the free line rig in and see if I can get that bigger carp. Got stuck in a rock. I missed my chance there on a big one, only to find out that there was a second big one there that I didn't see. So hopefully I didn't spook that one too much, because he went right on it. Okay, so it's 2:30 now. It actually looks like somebody might have already left. So we have an hour and a half left of the match. So yeah, I've stuck to my game plan of method feeder, and then when the carp move into the right, free lining. So I have had another carp free lining, not the big one. The big one has like a messed up tail, like a big chunk out of its tail, so I can recognize it right away when it's in there. I haven't been able to get that one. Every time I get my bait in front of it, a different one picks it up, or I've broken off on twice because of the rocks and the little branch that's in there. But I've also managed 2 carp on the method feeder. They're small, but it's carp instead of catfish. There's a catfish there. That's actually the first catfish I've had in probably over an hour. I'm not getting many catfish at all, which is good and bad. I need to keep catching to get my weight up. But I want bigger weight faster. So what I've started doing is completely ignoring my game plan and fishing where the bait is, and I've actually just been casting just out from where I'm catching the carp, and that's how I've managed to intercept a couple of them. They were smaller, only little, but a pound's a pound. I'm sure there's somebody down at the other end that's just crushing me, but for the moment, getting these carp is actually making me feel like I have a bit of a chance. I've kept some crust in case they start going to the surface again. But really, once I started introducing pellet and corn in there, well, I guess I did that from the start, but after they stopped taking the bread, put more pellet and corn in, and now they're really rooting around in there. And that's why I've managed to hook other fish instead of the big one that I'm after, because I'm fishing on the bottom, so I'm not seeing which one takes it. So yeah, I've lost a couple of hooks, broken one waggler float. I was catching on the waggler. I did enjoy that. But when a free lining opportunity presents itself, I've got to jump at it. That was a hard bite. I thought that was going to be a carp. Another catfish. And that one missed my keep net. The grass in front of my keep net slowed the fish down, and he didn't make it in there. Oh, that big one's back in there. Okay, let's put that down. Yeah, that big one's back in there, so just hooking some corn, that's it. I'm casting the water to a foam. I keep screwing up my casts, but I'm still getting the bite. I just flicked it over him, and as it was sinking, he sucked it in. Oh, this is the fish I've been after all day. Completely recognizable, he's missing half his tail. Come on. He's rolled around in the line. I don't want to take him out of the net because I don't want to drop him, but definitely a better fish. Okay. So that was my my target fish for the day. He's a little bit smaller than he looked, I'll be honest with you. But it was the presence of that fish that made me know that they were there. Now that I've had them, it might be hard to spot any other fish moving in. So, get this feeder back out there. Maybe I can intercept a few more carp in the bay while I wait. And hopefully they come back. Alright, we're down to about the last 30 or 40 minutes left. Ever since I got the big one just to the right here, there has been nothing else over to the right. I've been back chucking the feeder, chucking it all around over to the right, in that bay, all around where the carp were, and where I had a couple earlier. And I only had like 2 or 3 catfish. Yeah, ever since that bigger carp, I am struggling to get a bite at all. So what I did is it's been hard to see because of the wind, but there was a break in the wind. There's a fish. Oh, it came off. That was a carp. There was a break in the wind, and I can see that there was some fizzing going on out long. So I put the feeder out long, and I had a small carp. And I just missed another one there. I definitely stung him because he really kicked up the bottom there. So my chances of catching that one again are pretty much nil. But it seems that I may still have a chance at a few more carp fishing out long. Looks like just about 50 yards. Yeah, it's got to be about 50 yards. It's halfway across. Okay, I ended up dropping that one a little bit short. So yeah, really, for me overall in this corner, fishing has been really tough. Things definitely went well for me with fish showing themselves to the right, because with them being visible and so close, I could free line for them and kind of just pick them off one by one. Which very clearly worked because I got them all. There was definitely more fish there, but they haven't come back since I took the bigger one out. You know, I'm kind of happy I didn't get just plagued by catfish, but at the same time, you know, I'd rather be catching catfish than nothing. So I'm hoping I have enough carp to give me a decent weight. I really don't know how anybody else has done. I think the guy to my left had 1 carp and just a bunch of catfish. The guy directly across from me, I only ever actually saw him bring in 1 catfish. I didn't see him catch anything else. And I have no idea what the rest of the group has had on my side or the other side. But one thing's for sure, obviously corn as a hook bait has been the key, and the DT tiger nut and corn mixed size pellets have definitely helped me out here. I thought I did way too many. I still have, I guess I still have a lot left over, but I've gone through probably 2/3 of of what I actually soaked and prepared. So really, in the grand scheme of things, I don't really think I went overboard with it. I think that's what helped keep the carp grubbing around. It wasn't just the loose kernels of corn. I think they really were digging with their tails up, because I put so many pellets over there to the right. Really am genuinely hoping for one or two more carp. It would be nice to get something even bigger. I am not going to complain about the carp I have. They're all really good for adding weight. I do remember last year, though, pretty sure there was a 12-pounder that came out in a couple of matches, and that really was a money-winning fish for the people that had it. So if that happens to be where I am, I would love to hook that one. Oh, that feels like a catfish. It's a bite, though. A fat one. Yeah, it really has been a struggle for bites, but I suppose I've gotten some of the bites that really count. The horn should be about to go in about a minute or two, maybe less. We'll see how the weigh-in goes. Yep, the horn's about to go. I can see them ready on the other side there. That's the end of it. Well, definitely a challenging day. Didn't get the number of bites that I expected, but I definitely got better quality bites than I expected. So now I'm going to clean everything up. I'm going to get ready for the weigh-in, and then we'll see what happens then.
Here, Justin, I'll give you this
the-
while I get them.
Yep.
I think everybody
using 4
lost
pound,
something once a day.
and it was just on hook set before it burned away. So
I broke one off on the feeder and
bumped one off on the pole.
You want to do my big guy first?
Yeah. Yeah, it's easy.
Oh, nice fish. It's nice.
Half a tail.
480.
£4.4.
4-4, but it has a whole tail.
That had the whole tail. I had you on that one. Yeah.
5-2 for sure. Well, why didn't you put it in?
Yeah.
Well,
You want to go for the ride together? What a horseshoe, John?
No, just a piece of lead. There is some full hits, but I don't know if any are stuck.
Once we get most of it out, then we'll take a look. Your deer net start, so we'll get the
Sounds like
Oh, you got a carp in there.
Yeah.
I don't see any bullheads, so.
Is the carp in here still? Okay, good?
Yeah, head over to Brian.
Hey, look at me. Okay, now hold a couple. Okay, so we're going to go around.